Welcome, beloved Sangha, to our Jewel Ornament of Liberation series with our Venerable Khenpo Tenzin. We'll begin in the yellow Gurchen Buddhist Institute prayer book, page 4 and 5, with opening prayers. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as space, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they not be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Tangwe to je rezon ro jinja mata duja bonjom ba serja lombo ta brejibek shakji jarbe jabdon guzan zar dorjin janje de lo naro ta ma ba mala juje gambo ba pa modre ba jawan dogom kajula manan je da jo je danandana zara damje do lama labo la ye jeso zon lo zon yon den jamzo ngala Dende donjin rebe gele zor dage alo jizon rovar zinje labdo zor je lamdun rovar zinje labdo zor lan rova zevar zinje labdo rova ishi zonja var zinje labdo zor kange tenjen revan jo ngaba me ba je ba me ba ta me ba wa me ba ro me Dade dume dunje me drupanye je den ba zo ba zanje manan je dan ba de la zangza do dunje zaba la ma je kuzon do je zinlan da da Dage julan be de dage dan ba dan zanje je don la bo yen ro ba zanje la do zo Dear brothers and sisters, many tashidele and Today I will continuously explain your ornament. Actually, we have to know what is meaning of Dharma. And also Dharma explains that nature phenomena. So during the Four Noble Truth, there's cause and effect of Samsara and the cause and the effect of Nirvana. So the cause of Samsara is ignorance, and cause of Nirvana is spiritual wisdom. So we often hear about samsara and sufferings of samsara. So samsara means cyclic exist. So actually, how to cyclic exist? How cyclic exist is we are related three kinds of sufferings when we are in the samsara. When we are in samsara, so these three sufferings, three categories of sufferings, are within our life. Sometimes we feel that samsara is not ocean of suffering. Actually, this is also there are two ways how to look at the samsara. If one thinks samsara is not ocean of suffering, because everything is pure. There is not impurities. There are no impurities. All males are ndakas and all females are ndakinis. And our environment is a mandala, and all the sounds are mantras, and all thoughts are the dharmakaya. All appearances are our mind. Our mind is pure, and our mind is Buddha nature. If we see like this way, then we are right. The samsara is not ocean of suffering. But in other hand, we see that samsara is not ocean of suffering, because some have money, some have good health, some have good things. So that's why we running for them. So this way of looking is a little mistake, because we attach for temporary happiness. So this temporary happiness, for example, we have new clothes, new shoes, and we like very much that shoes, but we wear that for 1 month or a few months or 1 year. These shoes will become old. Then shoes itself change, and our mind and interesting are also change. So that means the temporary happiness, all of these temporary happiness, they are very temporary. So then one day or one day they will become cause of suffering. And also we think, I have good health, I'm strong. We think like that, and then if we don't care about the food, we don't prefer healthy food, and we don't care about health, and then the strong body or healthy body, one day or one time it will change. So that's where what we need is genuine happiness. But the we talk about lots of things about the suffering of samsara, but that part we do not need, yeah. The ocean, however, ocean of samsara, we do not need ocean of samsara, but we talk a lot about these things. But what we need is happiness, pleasure, bliss. We need permanent happiness. So what we talk and what we need are different. So we have to know, our Dharma practitioners have to know that. Why? We talk different things, we need different things. Why? If we don't understand about the nature of samsara, then we do not try to achieve or attain Buddhahood. It's like a doctor says, oh, you don't eat this food, you don't eat this, don't do that, don't do this. They say a lot if you went to the doctor. Don't eat that too much, don't eat this. They talked a lot to us. But it is, then we understand, okay, if we eat that, it's not okay. If we eat that, but then we eat like this way, then this is not good. Something like that. And then what is our main purpose? Our main purpose is to stay, healthy. So that is what it's quite similar. What right now we talk about Dharma. So we should know about the nature of samsara. But nature has two things. Nature, for example, we talk that this is nature, but in the Dharma teachings, nature means the essence of those things. So, for example, the nature of my mind, nature of your mind. So at that time, nature means Buddha nature. We have to understand that it talks about Buddha nature. Generally, we say nature, for example, nature of elements, nature of fire, nature of water. These things are the nature of wind. The nature of wind is movement. Nature of a fire, it burns, something like that. Okay, and then last week we talked about suffering of birth, and then yes, some of them suffering of the lower birth, higher, lower suffering of the suffering of the birth, higher and lower births we already discussed. And then if you have this book, we have we are on the page number 71. So today we talk about suffering of aging. But you should know that we are not criticizing our grandparents and so forth, but means we talks that sooner or later we also will become same. And when we talk about this, the suffering of aging, some old brothers and sisters may not have that completely suffering. I mean, it mentions some. Then you may think, oh, I'm old, I'm very old, but I don't have these suffering, those suffering. So may Dharma does not talk truth. Perhaps you will think like that, but some of these sufferings maybe you have. Some of those suffering may not have. So why you have, why don't you have? Why do you have and why don't you have? Because this is karma. If you cultivated some cause of these sufferings, you have them. If you cultivated after you purified, or you did not cultivate some sufferings, then you don't have. So then you should more trust in karma. Okay, so although the suffering of aging are also immeasurable. Actually, of course, they're immeasurable because they are uncountable mother sentient beings. So different sentient beings have different sufferings. So actually, this is the immeasurable. But some we talk there. We talk some. So they can be summarized as tenfold radical change in physique, hair, skin, complexion, abilities, prestige, quality of life, health, mental ability, and the life force itself. Okay. So, for instance, it says radical change in physical, hair, and skin, and so forth. That in the different vehicles in Buddha Dharma, there are different classifications. Praktika Buddha, Sharavikas, and then Bodhisattvas vehicle and Vajrayana vehicles. So, generally, we have a very, very strong attachment. That attachment grow from our mind because we have a strong self-grasping for these our bodies, our five aggregates. So these we doing lots of things. We're doing lots of useless things for this body. This body is very sensitive. As it says, it changes. It changes. It changes day in and night. It changes 24/7. So, how much we do something for this body, one day or eventually, this body leave us alone. This body dissolve into the elements. Blood dissolve into water. The body, flesh, they dissolve into earth. And then breathe, dissolve into air. So, at that time, only our consciousness alone travels to the Pardo, to the next life, or to different realms. So, Of course, we should take care for the sake of help other beings. Actually, we say we should take care of our body for the sake of Dharma practice. But why shall we practice Dharma? Why are we practicing Dharma? It for benefit others. And then we have a question: why should we help others? Because we have to help ourselves. That's very important to know. In this ordinary perception, ordinary path, for example, in this daily life, we help ourselves. We're doing lots of things for the sake of ourselves. But we cannot benefit ourselves. So, if we have to greatly benefit or help ourselves, then we have to help others. We benefit others, then we say we do not need some beneficials, but we receive many benefits. We received many benefits. For example, you pull water in your garden on the plants. If you drink that water, your beautiful plants will dry up. So you will not see beautiful flowers and so forth if you drink that water. But if you pull that water to these plants, and then they grow, and then you will enjoy. You will able to enjoy with these beautiful flowers, and your garden become beautiful. In the same way, you generate compassion, bodhicitta. Compassion, bodhicitta is always for others. If we follow these motivations, then these motivations are for benefit others. And then, for example, you generate bodhicitta for a little while, your mind is automatically relaxed, tranquility, peaceful. So this we can experience. Right now, we are not Buddha yet, but we generate compassion, bodhicitta at that time. Especially we generate bodhicitta at that time. Our mind is just relaxed, peacefully. So our experience tells us truth. So how we should benefit others, and then for the sake of benefit other beings, we can take care of our body. We have to understand, this is a precious human life. Actually, what is the precious human life? Life means feeling. So in this human life, or in this human's feeling, there are two kind of feelings: feeling of happiness, feeling of suffering. So if we have to experience feeling of happiness, then we have to help others, think others. So if we take care too much of our body, then one day it will it will change. As this said, uh, uh, how to change. There are actually 10 uh, 10 let me see, 10 kinds of changings. So the first, there will be marked physical change as the body previously strong and robust and holding itself erect, erect becomes bound, twisted, and needing to support itself with a stick. Uh, so, about old age, Milarepa said, when you stand yourself up as if pulling a pig, peg from the ground. Two, you creep along as though you were stalking a bird. Three, you sit down like a sack being dropped. So actually our body how our body is how to change, and these any kind of these we experience these changes, then we should know that next life is not so far. We actually focus more for the sake of this life, so we forget about next life. And if we forget about next life, then we cannot remember Dharma practice. And then we cannot be mindful on karma cause and effect. If we are not able to be mindful on the karma cause and effect, then we don't care about the law of karma. If we do not care about the law of karma, then we will suffer, because we cultivate many non-virtues. After cultivated non-virtues, then whether we say we do not need these sufferings, but they occur. This is the law of karma. Then second, there will be marked change in hair, formerly jet black. It becomes white or is lost. Then third, there will be marked change in the skin, once as fine and smooth as Banner's fan cloth, or Chinese silk. It becomes coarse, lean, and heavily wrinkled, looking like a braided copper uh, bangles. Bangles. For so it talking about the skins, changing the skins. Uh, but sometimes uh, we see that our skin change like this way. Don't keep unhappiness. So generally what happens is when we see we have skin problems and kind of wrinkles and so forth, and we keep suffering. I mean, just unhappy. So that means we should practice dharma. So if we see the change of our skin, and then we notice, oh, aging is coming. In the Dharma says, suffering of the aging. So then what should we do instead to keep of keeping the suffering or unhappiness? We should cultivate virtues. To cultivate Dharma, there is no age. There's no different male and female. Everybody has Buddha nature. Everybody. And ants and other bugs, they have Buddha nature, and we have Buddha nature. So we have Buddha nature, then our responsibility is to recognize that. How to recognize is just we think, oh, we have a Buddha nature. It has also benefit, but recognize, in this case, recognize means we are going to add ease on the Buddha nature. We do not come, we don't want to come back from there. So we don't want to keep unhappiness when we see change over this skin and so forth. Then we apply diligence to practice Dharma. Then fourth, there will be marked change of the complexion once filled with brightness and luster like a freshly opened lotus. It is now fixed, becoming blush or grayish, like an old withered flower. Okay, so yeah, externally the flowers in the summer. Actually, in this case, we are talking like 4 seasons. In spring season, there are some seed of flowers start to grow in the middle of summer, and then they uh, blossom these flowers, and it look so beautiful. They have beautiful colors. But in then fall season or end of summer, these flowers start to getting old or start to change, and then petals, some petals lost some petals or it's changed their colors. It's same like this the body. Our body is also uh, when we were we were young, it's fresh, clear, and strong. Lots of wonderful things, and then it started to getting old, it changed. So uh, uh, sooner or later, actually, since we gave birth from mother's womb, then it's starts to getting old. But then uh, mm, uh, still we could not understand that clearly. But now the age is around 80, 90. Still we feel we are young. Probably we are young. So this is actually a good thinking. I'm young. It's good. At the same time, we have to know our body is limited. So 10, 20, 30 years later, this body will dissolve into 5 elements. So now it is time to help our consciousness. So how to help our consciousness is practice Dharma. Then fifth, there will be marked change in ability and power. The enthusiasm and ability that were previously enjoyed will change as declining physical strength prevents the harder tasks from being undertaken, and as mental decline takes away any enthusiasm for doing things. The sense faculties become blunt and lose their abilities, perceiving their objects in an unclear and confused way. So, as this says, first we have our eyes are very clear, and we can see things from far away. We can hear from far away, and we can walk. We can stand up easily. We can sit down easily. So then everything are powerful. But then slowly eyes cannot see well, ears cannot hear well, and then tongue, the foods are how much delicious food we get, how much delicious food, no matter the tongue we cannot taste these delicious things, food, and then when we were young, we have lots of skills, like to play games like basket or football or so forth, and but everything changed. So they eventually then that means this body says our body tells us, our bodies tell us it is the right time to practice. I am going to separate. Maybe our body says, I love you, but it's better to practice. So I will show you some symbols. So that means the body that's changed. Before we have everything perfect, but slowly it's changed. So then we understand this. Uh, I repeat that. Don't keep when we see the change of our body, as this says, there will be marked change in ability and powers. We don't give up. We don't give up. There is no reason to give up. Before I am strong, I am very powerful, but now I don't have this ability, I don't have this power. Don't give up. This is psychologically not healthy mind. So when we see this, we have less power and we have no more abilities, and then we should start to practice. For example, physically, if you cannot circumambulate, cannot do circumambulations, you cannot go chorus, and you cannot do prostrations, and so forth, but you can meditate. If you don't know how to meditate in details, doesn't matter. You recite mantras. If you recite mantra out loud, sometimes tired, yeah, but then mental recitation, that is also great meditation. You recite. If you cannot recite long mantras, doesn't matter. Just say hong hong hong, and focus on there. With each breath, when you exhale, just say hong. When you breathe in, just say hong. And you just remember hong, syllable hong. If your mind does not separate from syllable hong, it means great meditation. So now I am reading this text and explain about the aging of suffering. I don't try to make you unhappy, and this book also does not. But knowing through this way, we should be happy. Oh, now I really understand. I'm old. Before I don't I know, but I can't. I could not feel it. Maybe we think. So now I noticed I'm all getting old. So that means I'm going to practice. Thank you so much for remember this. My physical changing. To remember this physical changing, and it helps me to practice, to keep more diligence. So we have to keep like that. We should be happy when we understand these physical changings. At the same way, if you don't have Dharma in mind, definitely when your eyes cannot see the beautiful things, before you see beautiful views, beautiful colors, and now you cannot see them well, you're really unhappy. If you say, I don't have unhappiness, probably sometimes you don't have, but generally you have unhappiness. But it doesn't matter. In other hand, it doesn't matter your eyes cannot see the beautiful colors and the beautiful forms and beautiful views, but your eyes' consciousness is Buddha nature. Your eyes' consciousness can see Buddha's form, Yidam deity's form, Bodhisattva's form. That's what we need. So there is no reason to keep unhappiness. If you are not practitioner, you will not practice, then you don't have these ideas and you don't apply to these ideas, and then you yourself think I have problems, my eyes have problem, my ears have problem, then yourself press down. You press down by yourself. So actually, Dharma practice, it does not always mean for the next life. We talked a lot about next life because it is a priority, but practicing Dharma is like a, what to say, it's kind of a counselor that is helps our mind and mentalities. Uh, okay, then also same thing. Before my ears can hear sounds, music very clearly, but now I cannot. And then you start to you experience suffering. But if you are a great practitioner, then you do not need how to say, you will not suffer through this way. I mean, because sounds, these auto sounds are uh, if you will able to hear as mantras, it's fun, but internally you have ear consciousness. Ear consciousness always can hear mantra. So which means whatever the sounds you hear, these sounds are mantras. And if you are practitioner with a hong syllable, these sounds say hong hong hong. If you are focusing on the syllable ah, this sound says ah ah ah, and so forth in the other mantras. Yeah. If your yadam deity is Manjushri, this sound says di. If your yadam deity is Tara, this sound says tam, like that. So you only focus there. Yeah. And then your Tara and Manjushri and all these yadam deities are in your mind, and then they should blossom from your mind. So when you heard these sounds, and then you start to blossom these yadam deities from your mind, and these yadam deities blossom from your mind means you will become these yadam deities. What is the benefit if you will become these yidam deities? You liberate from suffering and you become protector. You greatly benefit for others, other sentient beings. And then your environment, actually your environment become mandala, and your friends become dakas and dakinis, so forth. And you are Mahayana practitioners, and then all these your friends are become your parents, your mom and your father. Yeah. So then you have a lot of object of practice generate compassion. Then 6, there will be marked change in person, although formerly praised and respected by others. The elderly one in other people's esteem and become the object of inferiors, scorn. Even strangers find them unapplying and unapplying, and they become the object of children's stress and become their children and grandchildren. Okay. So uh, these part are okay. Generally, it's happened when we become old. Then many people start to look down But people, what they do is not important. What they do to us is not important. Ourselves, we are protector of ourselves. So, when we were young, or when we have become popular, at that time, everybody prays to us. Everybody says very good things. Maybe all give lots of good things. But if we attach on there, and then one time we don't have like these people's praises and offering things, we will unhappy. So now, people praise to us. It's great. That means they have great qualities. And we can more respect to them. If people praise to you, respect to you, and then you can more respect to those people, because they have great qualities, yeah? But do not expect people's praise and saying good things. We don't want to expect. And people praise to you and do not happy with this word, but we should happy with that person. This is extremely important. We, for example, one person prays to you. If you are happy with that person become your friend, best friend. And you can help a lot. You can praise a lot. Not only in front of him, behind. You can talk lots of that person's good qualities. If you attach on that word, person praises you and you attach that word just come in your ear but not remain longer. So then you cannot reply good things that person, and then one day you don't have that praises, these praise, then you are unhappy. So this is in generally how we have to think. But when this is a human nature, some has good things. At that time, everybody do say a lot of good things. Some has less. People don't care and even look down. And then getting old. Then before people tells your qualities always, but then no more talks about your qualities, good qualities. And even they start to look down. But as I mentioned early, beginning of this teaching, some of you are around 90, 100, around 90 some years, but still people praise to you. That means you have a great karma. You cultivated a great karma in previous lives or in past years or months. But right now it talks majority, in the majority. There is a saying, old horse, old people, old dogs, they did not make any mistakes, but people, what to say, like a aversion or kind of hatred. And the child and baby of some animals, these three are They did not do any good things particularly, but everybody take care, loves them. So that means our human nature is like that. So, however, when we notice that it's people start to look down or something, then we notice, remember our kind of age, and we then start to practice. The aging is just conception. For practicing dharma, there is no aging. So our Buddha nature is always uh, uh, the always young. Our Buddha nature is always fresh. Okay, then seventh, there will be a marked change in quality of life. Okay, so first, I would like to say a little bit thing. If you have grandchildren in your family, if they look down or they do some uncomfortable things to you, at that you don't feel unhappiness, and you don't be angry towards your grandchildren. But you should notice, that means I am getting old, so now I have to prepare something for the next life. When I say that, I don't mean prepare for next life means prepare for death. I don't mean that. Next life means Buddha. What is your next life? Your next life is enlightenment. With one body, with one life, just few people can attain enlightenment or attain Buddhahood. Because this body, the majority of people cannot, which means that they have a strong attachment. This is the ordinary body, or majority practitioners cannot figure out that our five aggregates are the five family Buddhas. So that's why it's quite hard to become enlightened completely. But after separate this body, and then our consciousness is like a wrinkle without clothes. What is called that? Our consciousness have to wear another cloth, because this ordinary body already left. Yes, after died. And then our consciousness ready to wear Yadam's form, Buddha's form. So that's next life means that. If you are doing good things, next life is good things. Next life is not bad things. We say lower realms, lower realms. We will experience lower realms in this life if we did some mistakes. So if we will do good things, next life means pure light. Environments are pure light, mandala, and friends are the yidams, and ourselves will become Buddha. So next life is not bad. So we don't be upset when our grandchildren look down or they bothers to us. Don't be angry, and we acknowledge. Oh, it means I'm getting old, so now I should be prepared to wear Yadam's form. Prepare to become enlightened. And then seventh, there will be a marked change in quality of life. The pleasure given by possessions, food and drink, what is that? Deteriorates. The body cannot feel properly warm, nor can the mouth find good taste in anything. There is in fans for what is not available, and the difficulty getting others to get how to say su- supplies supplies or make food. Mm. So this our body precious human life is established by merits. There are two kinds of merits. So this precious human life is established the accumulation merits. If we have different people, some has a very good nose, that is established by accumulation as merit. Some have good ears, some has a whole body, it looks very good. All of these are established by merit. What is merit? Merit is power of virtue. For example, we say potent. Or if you eat this fruit, it has potent. So food is there. We see that is a virtue. Like virtue means like that. We do prostration. We recite aspiration prayers. We meditate. These are virtue we see, but that is energy or potential or potent we cannot see. So that is when we see fruits, we see color of these fruits, the shape, and we can taste. But the potent or energy we cannot see. But this energy supports to our body health. Similarly, merit means power of virtues. So there are wisdom merits and accumulation merit. So this our body, whatever we have good things on our body, like a beautiful face, or we have a beautiful body shape and so forth. All of these are related accumulation merit. Yeah, it is not related wisdom merit. So this accumulation merit is impermanent. So it will these benefit rippens with our life, with our body, yeah. But it will exhaust. Impermanent means if you have some merit, yeah. For example, you have $1,000. If you don't earn more than that, you can use that 1 month or 1 year. It depends you, maybe a few months or a few years. And after finish that, you have no money. When you have no money, then you have a problem. Yeah, in this life, in this life. Yeah. So similarly, right now we have merit. According to the great merit, then we established precious human life. So one day means it will exhaust if we do not cultivate another merit. So when merit will decrease, then we say unfortunate. These things are occur. The power of merit, unfortunate, will not able to come. Unfortunate opportunity, unfortunate time, unfortunate year, they are not exist because the power of merit. So we already have great merit. So now we cultivate on there, we can we can increase. Our merit will increase, will not decrease. So we have to know that sometimes we have we eat same food. Last year and this year we eat same food, or your grandchildren or your young brother or sisters eat and you eat same food, but you have you don't have good taste. Your young brother or sisters, they have, or your family members, they have good taste with that food. What is that? Okay, it means your merit start to decrease. And then you think, oh, my merit start to decrease, and you just upset and keep unhappiness. This is not a good idea. So something happened, it remains you, and then you start to increase your merit. For example, before you eat some food, if you can recite some offering prayers, you do. If you don't know, at least you say Om Ahom. If you cannot say from your mouth, it's okay. Mental recitation. Just think Om Ahom, and you think offering to the Yadam deities and Buddhas and three jewels. Even if you are great practitioners, it says from your head to neck there are the three roots: Guru, Yidam, and Darkness. Three jewels. The three jewels: Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Three kayas: Dharma kaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirvana kaya. So when you take food, if you can visualize that, you offer three jewels. And then from your throat to the area of your navel, between there has your food goes through this way, but you can offer Dharma Protectors. Mahakala, Apchi, and so forth. They are Dharma Protectors. Dharma Protector means they protect you because you are Dharma practitioners. You are Dharma practitioner. How? Because you already remember three jewels and you offer to the three Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and three roots, three fruitions, and three jewels. So you already become Dharma practitioner. So Dharma Protector's responsibility is to protect you. And then food goes down below your navel. That means you dedicate in the lower arms. Dedicate, it does not mean always you say something from your mouth. Of course, you pray dedication prayers. Prayer means say something, yeah? But in the dedication means you give without attachment with them, without grasping, without fixation, you dedicate. And you dedicate or you generosity, practice generosity. The lower beings of lower realms, hungry ghost, and so forth. So then you don't focus, oh, this food has no good taste to me on my tongue. No, I'm become old. Nobody take cares of me. If you think like that, this is unhealthy mind. So you yourself think like that. So how perhaps you think, if I'm going to offer food to whom? How I can see my Yadam deities and three jewels? If I dedicate or generously my food to the spirit, hungry gods, I cannot see them. You don't worry about that. Your wisdom sees everything. How your wisdom see means you visualize them. That's all. So then your food, you eat one plate of food, it cultivates great merit. And then when I taught the Golden Temple in this, explained very pretty much clearly about this. If you offer and generosity, practice generosity, those merits, and then in next life, if you become Buddha and Bodhisattvas, then everybody offer to you. If you are not become Buddha, you will become Bodhisattvas. Your benefit flourish everywhere, and then you receive back great merit. And if you become some lower realms beings of lower realms like animals, people take care of you and give you very good food and so forth. See, right these days, many people, there are thousands of dogs, for example, but some dogs have a wonderful opportunity. This is the karma. They are not expensive, yeah. You did not buy these dogs with through you pay so a lot of money like that. Someone say, "Oh, I found this dog on the in the some village or some uh, remote place. First, this dog very much got us sick. Then I feel compassion and I brought this dog. And then you cut the hairs or fur or whatever, the wash the dog's body, and you give a beautiful, sweet, and blissful name. I heard many dogs have Yidam deity's name, but I don't. We don't have. See, I'm trying to teach Dharma here, but I don't have this Yidam deity's name, which means I did not cultivate that merit in my previous lives. But I visited some Dharma friends' house. There's some dogs and some other pets. They have Yidam deity's name and Dharma Protector's name, Vajikalaya or so forth. At that, I remember that. I wasn't jealousy them. It's the kindness of my gurus often gave advice, so I could be rejoiced. And I thought definitely they have a great karma with these Yidam deities. So some cause of a karma, then they took rebirth of a dog and so forth. Another, they have beautiful name, beautiful food. They stay very nice home, and they go out. They can go in the car, and sometimes they have a special park. They sometimes they can see other dogs and so forth. Everything perfect. So uh, that's where we everything related merit, and then earth, there will be marked change in health. Once stricken by old age, the greatest test of all ailments, there is a suffering for age brings on all the other disease. Yeah. So disease is actually related uh, the afflictive emotions. Uh, and then when we getting old, definitely we have lots of extra disease. For example, before we have no problem about our legs, but then we have problem. We will have problem, uh, and it's same like that. So at that time, we don't want to be upset because the uh, As Malarepa said, as Jimmy Lingpa said, the obstacles of Maras and this disease are spiritual masters. Because of the sickness, illness, and these unhealthy, when we have unhealthy body, unhealthy mind, and then we start to remember Dharma practice. If we have unhealthy body, we don't think. First, what we think? We think maybe doctor or clinic or hospital. And what is our hope? We will liberate or recover from this disease. But when we become Dharma practitioners, then what we will able to think is, oh, this is my karma in previous lives. Definitely I did something, but I'm happy. Now I'm getting sick, so I'm happy because my negative karma start to exhaust. So at the same time, I can practice Dharma. Otherwise, I will be busy for the something. I have to take care of lots of things. But now, through my illness, this disease, and then I can practice Dharma. I can help others greatly. So these are true, yeah? I don't try to make some skillfully something, try to deceive you. You should think by yourself. It's really true. So especially when getting old, there are lots of disease. That means then sometimes you can practice only taking and giving. Okay, so when you get sick, and then you can give compassion to other beings. There are big difference. If one person never gets sick and one person got sick, yeah, the two people, maybe two, it could be okay, siblings. But these both siblings can hear others people's unhealthy body or unhealthy mind. Person who gets sick, that person has more compassion. That person can feel, have kind of a sensitive about that. Like, oh, you feel that it's hope that person will recover soon. So that's where these are like the illness and maras. They are the how to say like a spiritual masters guide the Dharma practice. It's same like many my friends. They generally they have nothing to say about it. When they have some obstacles, their or their family then ask to Rinpoche to more, and then Rinpoche do more, and then Rinpoche gave some recite some mantras. It says thousand, millions, billions recite the mantras. You should recite Tara mantra millions. You recite Manda mantra millions, something like that. And then they concentratedly or they recite it completely. So through this way, then cultivate great merit. Yeah. So we don't want to be upset. But one thing, oh, sickness is good, obstacles are good, so I need them. This we don't think. We should keep healthy body, as I mentioned this morning, for the sake of others. But we keep healthy body, we eat healthy food, but still sometimes we have some unhealthy body and so forth, and then we trust in karma. Definitely this I try to keep a healthy body, but still I am getting sick. I have like this problem, so this definitely related karma. That means how you do you believe in karma? If you think karma is somewhere later, actually we can talk a lot about karma. Karma is somewhere and then you believe. Not like that. What happened in the daily hours, in the minutes, in a moment, and then you understand, oh, this is the karma and this is definitely karma. That means you are in believe in karma. You believe in karma in a moment, it has great merit. So, and after you get sick through the karma, and then as in the masters, Mahasiddhas said, Lord Jigten Sunggu and so forth, they said, if I'm getting sick, I'm happy because it exhausts my negative karmas or previous life's negative karmas. And if I'm not sick, I'm happy. If I have a healthy body and a mind, I can practice Dharma more and more. So always keep this instruction in your mind, pet instruction. This is not my pet instruction. I brought it from the Mahasiddhas. Then ninth, there will be a marked change in mental ability, becoming senile and confused. The elderly forget almost immediately what has just been said or done. So this is very true. For example, if you are going to memorize some text, big difference. The ornaments, now I'm not image about the some 90 or 100 years old, okay? I image ourselves. When we were around child almost, we can memorize a lot of text. For example, tomorrow has some examination, this evening memorize, we can memorize a lot. And each when I studied in the Shedas, so we have to memorize a lot. When I learned Jura Ornament liberation, this root of text, I memorized very quickly. I memorized. But now it started to forget. Something like that, actually. So old means not always something kind of 19 or 80 or something like that. So it happened. So then it is mark. Yeah, mark is that, oh, you are start to getting old and start to, so you should start to practice Dharma more. Only Dharma is your protector forever. So we all same, moment, month, years, we become getting old. Old. People say, "Oh, you are young." People think you are young. They think they look as we are young. It is only just depend, yeah. Maybe someone around 40 or 50 or 60 something, and they look us or they thought you guys are young. But when we look at someone around 10 years old or 5 years old, we say young. But however, today to tomorrow, from now to tomorrow, we become old. But old is not bad. I think old is not bad. But when getting old, it starts to have some problems, as this here your ornament mentioned. And then what we should do is practice Dharma. So, however, it always says, Gambopa said, practice Dharma or practice Dharma. It's repeated a few times, and we were a little bit bored. Maybe we have no more interest. But Gampopa explained the real, how to say, exactly the truth. Gampopa tells us truth logically, and Gampopa tells us reality, and then it supports us to increase our Dharma practice. Then it's when time is up, it's 10th, yeah? Time is up, life end is reached, short of a breath and starting to weeds since all the component elements of the body have worn out. Death is now at hand. Yeah. Breathe. Getting old means actually not only these physical forms. In the channels, wind, breathe, their axes are changed. Then um, mm, generally it says the suffering of human is birth, aging, death, and sickness. Yeah. When we talk about that, we should more respect to old people. As I mentioned, old people, it does not always mean around 90 or 100 years people. Of course, we should respect to them, help them, and we respect to all other or old people. This is also virtuous because they were happy. If they are happy, and that means this is virtue. Yeah. The vast manifestation sutara says of all these, old age turns a pleasant physique into physique. Now I'm getting old, so physique into an unpleasant one. Old age steals prestige and damages abilities and strength. Old age steals happiness and increases suffering. Old age is the maker of death and the robber of beauty. There is one special thing. It doesn't matter old age, honestly. These, if we don't practice, for example, we do not meditate, yeah? We do not meditate and we follow the thoughts, and then our mind is scattered. So that's where when we read book and we focus on these teachings, and we cannot focus there because we cannot collect our attentions together. It's so hard. That's number one. Number two is if we are good practitioners, like we meditate shamatha single-pointedly, we do not apply clarity. We only focus about the stabilization, unmovement part, and then it also makes our mind is we have less thoughts, but our mind is not so clear. So that's why meditate shamatha and vipassana and shamatha, which means stabilization and clarity. So some are very old, very old means around 90, 80, those, they have very clear mind, especially about Dharma. Not kind of just these ordinary things. This ordinary thing things they aren't more familiar. They were not familiar with this, so they are not so much there. But about Dharma, they are very they have very how to say, their mind is fresh, clear, and is wonderful. So that's where we have to practice meditation. Among meditation, there are clear in the Sutara way. We says in Sutarayana we say shamatha and vipassana, and Vajrayana we say completion stage and generation stage. So these two things are very important, especially to keep clear mind. This is I tell you. For example, you can you think all the forms are emptiness. You remain on the all the forms are emptiness. You remain there. You can remain. This is kind of completion stage, yeah. But then you remain there. But sometimes you should arise from this meditation and think form like a head is emptiness. Emptiness is head. Arms are emptiness. Emptiness is arms. Torso is emptiness. Emptiness is torso. You should do that. This is the fundamental of clarity. Actually, when we apply clarity, we do not particularly need, but the first time we should do that. We should do that, and then eventually, then we will attain that clarity. Means we can we think, for example, form is emptiness, but mind is still clear there. Like we have a candle light. It does not move by the wind, and it does not move by ears, but it remains unmovingly. But this candlelight has a light. That light remove darkness. This our mind is exactly the same like this candlelight. So this is important. Then next. Although the sufferings of sickness are also immeasurable, they can be summed up as sevenfold. Beings struck down by a powerful disease, 2. Undergoing painful physical examinations, 3. Having to take strong medicine, 4. Being prevented from eating and drinking what is enjoyable, 5. Having to follow the doctor's orders, 6. The diminution of wealth, and 7. Fear of death. Okay. Yeah, this number one is when we get sick, and then there is lots of painful, yeah. So only people who get sick, they experience that, and if we are not sick, it's quite hard to feel that. But through these teachings, then at least through these teachings, we can give compassion more towards these sickness people, because this teaching tells truly. So, for example, we say in the lower realms, hell realms, and spirit hunger ghost realm, they have um, how to say, in the hell realm, they suffering. They have lots of suffering, and then they suffer 1 hour of hungry spirits, ghost time, but they feel it is 1 year. So this we say that. So we also understand that when we have some uncomfortable and we are sick or something, everything is how to say hard, so hard to spend our time. Then this second, it says being struck down by a powerful disease. Yeah, after getting sick, then we have no freedom. That we say we don't want to operate, but we don't have freedom. If you have some problem on your teeth, generally between teeth you cannot pull a needle. Yeah, you brush, you cannot brush strongly. But if you have sick, if your teeth sick, is okay to say that, and then the doctor is to take off these teeth, we have no freedom. Sometimes they give some injections, yeah, maybe injections, but sometimes it helps. Some place they don't have that facilities, so we should generate compassion through knowing this, and then undergoing painful physical examination. It's quite similar, yeah. This is second. Sorry. Then having to take strong medicine. Strong medicine. This is also when we were child. I don't know you have this experience. Sometimes we get some fevers, and parents give us very very bitter, yeah, bitter medicine. It's so hard. It shakes our bodies, and I really don't like that. And then try to eat. Sometimes we cry. We say we don't want. I don't want to take this medicine, and then parents give some tsampa or food, like a bread mixed with this medicine, and it gave us like that. So if we don't like to take some medicines, but we don't have freedom, and then for being prevented from eating and drinking what is enjoyable. It's very true. Gamboba said this around 13th century, maybe 12th or 13th, 12th century. But exactly now it's happened. If you get sick and then you went to the doctor, and then doctor said, don't eat that, don't eat this. Sometimes a fridge has lots of food. Open the door and then you look one by one. I cannot eat this. I cannot that. I cannot eat this. Aren't them food? Of course, they are food. Then why you cannot eat them? Because of sickness. Yeah. So this is true means that. Gamboba says truly means that. And Dharma explain truth means that. But then you don't be upset. Yeah, don't feel unhappy. You more generate compassion to other beings. Some they don't. Now you have some food you cannot eat, but among them some you can eat. But other spirit hunger ghosts, they don't have any food. Yeah. So then think and generous compassion. But at the same time, there are special method. Doctors say you don't eat that, you don't eat that, and you open the fridge and there are lots of food you cannot eat. That means you cannot eat unhealthy food. So you will not cannot eat unhealthy food because of the kindness of your disease. And through this way, longevity, we often say, may you long life, may you have long life. So longevity, we recite many longevity mantras. So it's same thing, you recite longevity mantras. Perhaps the power of recitation of a longevity mantra, you will not eat unhealthy food, you have good health. For example, if I don't have diabetes, and I don't care to eat all kind of sugars, and one day then I will have it's then. But if you already have that, and then you be careful. Oh, I don't eat this sweet part. I don't eat that and those. So when we become great Dharma practitioner, we see everything's pure. With a pure perception, it's not only related about the Vajrayana. Pure perception is not always you should see some Yadam deities and Dagas and Dakinis. Pure perception means, oh, I cannot eat these foods, but through this way, I will I will have long life. So and then your mind is happy, and then it doesn't bother you that doctor's advice, and then having to follow the doctor's orders. Yeah. So doctor, if we get sick, doctor, you like that doctor or don't like, so no matter, we should follow this. Especially some remote place. No, it does not talk only one location, okay? You think, oh, if I don't like that doctor, I can make an appointment with this doctor. That means you have the option. That means you cultivated great karma in previous lives. So that's where you have the option. Some remote place has only one doctor. Only one doctor. If that doctor or that doctor's children or families or some relatives make lots of mistakes to you, you should think that doctor, oh, one day I will get sick. If at that time, maybe I or my children or my friends or my family, at that time I should request medicine to that doctor. So that's where I try to ignore these problems with those people. It's really happened in some remote places. So this exactly it says that having to follow the doctor's orders. It's including there. If one village has only one doctor, that doctor is if whether that doctor is pretty good or not, but that doctor's children make lots of bothers, mistakes to you. Maybe steals your things, maybe it harms your animals, domestic animals, or maybe they say bad things to your friends or your guru or something. But you try to be patient, unhappy in the mind, but try to be patient. But because one day you are going to ask that doctor some medicine, that doctor is also ordinary being, so it definitely stand behind his children or his friends or so forth. So in this world, I have a lot of that. Especially, if I don't listen carefully, if I don't respect, and you have urgent problem, and other people have urgent problem, you have self-grasping. So you try to contact first, contact the doctor first, yeah, before the other people. Because we have a grasping, and then if doctor made some mistakes in generally, still you respect something like that, and then the doctor says the completely kind of opposite things. I mean, what you don't need, doctor say you need them. What you need, doctor say don't do like that. It's happened many times. It does not mean doctor's mind is bad or motivation is not good. It does not mean doctor tries to help you through this way. Like that. And then sixth, the diminution of wealth. And so this is happened. We collected a lot of money with a what's the sweater. Sweat. We worked day in the night and collected money, saved the money. Eventually, we were in the hospital. That's all. And then, unhealthy body, no money. It's a problem. But you can solve this problem. You cannot save that money, but you can solve that problem. How? This generally have many people have these problems. Non-meditation practitioners, they strongly greed their money, but they have no choice. Spend money, spend time in the hospital, but they feel unhappy, but they need to recover from sickness. They cannot be patient with their painful physical pain and mental. So that's where. But you are a practitioner, so what should you think? Oh, if I pay this money in the hospital, whether you like to or don't like, you should pay that money in the hospital. But you should think, okay, whether I like or don't like, I have to pay this money in the hospital. And then you think, may this money benefit this hospital. Many patients came to the hospital and they get medicine, and then in the hospital, can keep many nurses, and then people has less pain. These patients have more helpers, and then they can in the hospital can increase their facilities through your money. So this is indirectly how you practice generosity. So you will not you will not regret about that. So joyfully you can pay it. So that means your money is gone, but you accumulate great merit through this way. So now I'm talking about these things. It is related to you. You should think like this. When you see people happen like this situation, they spend money in the hospital, and so you give more compassion, so you can develop more compassion. So then you can help a lot for others. Then fear of death. Just a few people say, I'm not fear of death. But then we ask, okay, you don't fear of death. We ask that it is like ignorance. We don't want to criticize them, some who don't afraid of death. Actually, it's pretty good. But this don't afraid, it doesn't help always. Only you do not afraid of death, but after death, you will wake up in the bardo, in the lower realms, definitely suffering if you cultivated non-virtues. At that time, you cannot say, I'm not afraid. But practitioners, they are afraid of death. Because we talk, spiritual Dharma masters or the talks a lot about the lower realms suffering. So Dharma practitioners have a lot of fear of death. Or when I died, I pardo, and then 18 hells, and then hungry ghost and the animal realms. They worry a lot about that. It's lots of fear. But we fear of death means if you are fear of it, you are fear about death, then you can practice. You should practice. You should practice. Only keep fear is not a good idea. Whenever fear comes from your mind, and then you start to practice. Practice, it does not mean always doing something physically or speech, how to say, verbally, but it means meditate or so forth. Of course, if you can do physically and verbally practice, that will be wonderful. So, death means, there are lots of talks about death. Generally, if you are great practitioner, then death means enlightenment. Really, enlightenment. For example, if daytime you are great practitioners, sleeping means you meditate on Dharmakaya. Dream means you are enjoy with the Idam deities and Bodhisattvas. If you are not a good practitioner, then death means suffering. So during the death, if you heard about Pardo teachings, it says a body dissolve in the earth, you have some problems. Breathe, dissolve into the air, you have some problems. Blood dissolve into water, you have some problems. Problem is suffering. They all have different kind of sufferings. So now it is time to practice, training, and then death means rest peacefully, tranquilly on the Dharmakaya stage. Then at that time, not death is not suffering. So before gain this realization, then we talk about the suffering of death. Or death has lots of suffering. If we don't know how to meditate, meditation is also a part of difficulty things, really. Often says, don't be tied too much. Don't too loose. We often say that. We often try, yeah. First, we tightly, very, very keep tight our body, and then after 1 hour or 2 hours, we exhaust, so much tired. That means we don't know. So that means that meditation is a big job, big work. It's a really big responsibility. But if we gain these skills, we are not tight, we are not too loose, and then stay physically, all the blood circulations are going well, and it's relaxed, so very nice. Meditation session is the session of relaxing, resting or something. The same thing always, we have to know. We have to know the key point, and then everything will perfect. The vast manifestation Sutara says of this, tormented by being prey to and actually falling victim to the sufferings of hundreds of melodies. They are like human ghosts. Okay. Today we stop here, and hope means actually you all wonderful listeners. So you understand more than what I explained, and if some good idea from my talking, please keep it, apply it, And these kind of daily problems, it will possible later benefit. And however, we talk about suffering or lower arms, or we talk nirvana, whatever. When we talk dharma, it has great merit. When we listen dharma, it has great merit. And actually, only this merit we dedicate, it will enough. But we combine Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and gurus and other Dharma practices, all the listening, teaching, reflecting, meditating, all of these merits gathering together and dedicate for welfare all mother sentient beings. Thank you so much. Chancho sencho renpo che ma je pa nan je jer je ba nyam ba me ba ya ko ne kon de per ba jo.
May bodhicitta, the precious and supreme mind, arise in whom it has not yet arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time. May you long life and a happy life.